Welcome to yet another episode of The Speaking Citizen. My guest today is Rajesh Chaudhary, a biomedical science professor by profession and photographer by passion. Professor Chaudhary has been photographing wildlife for over 2 decades. A co-author of a beautiful companion to all eco-tourists interested in spending time in the forests at the foothill Himalayan mountains. The very picturesque guidebook is called Wildlife in and Around the Corbett Tiger Reserve. I have my copy here, and this is an absolute delight, an encyclopedia of information. Now, let me get you, the professor himself, to lead us today into the lap of Mother Nature at the Corbett Tiger Reserve. The reserve is where it is possible to see the Royal Bengal tiger and the Asian elephant, but also many lesser known treasures of life. Welcome, Professor. And my first question to you is about the ever widening gap between urban and rural India. I know many fellow citizens living in the city who have never even visited a village in India, never mind a forest. At a time like this, what kind of love and empathy can you expect us to have for wildlife?
Thank you for inviting me to this event. To address this problem, that there is a widening gap between the urban society and rural society, and the differential perception of society living there about wildlife, about nature. Yeah. I would like to say that it is not the fault of people who are living in urban society about if they don't feel or they have little feel for nature as we usually perceive, or say. In fact, we must ask ourselves first, as a parents, as a grown-up citizen, and of course as a naturalist also, that how sensitive we are for nature, right? To how imperatively we tell, we teach, we discuss about nature and conservation, and how imperatively, or I mean, how much we discuss about nature in our daily talks. In fact, what I find is, or what I get is, our daily talks do not have much space for nature talks. It is not the popular topic of discussion. At least in urban societies. Yes, please.
Sorry to interrupt you, Professor, but
yeah,
if we don't know enough, how are we going to pass on any kind of information to our children?
Yeah, that's what I am. That is where I am arriving actually. So let us make an environment actually for our kids, for our youngsters, and that will only come through sensitizing them about nature. It should be basic. We should bring nature talks in daily discussion. It should be a fashion, in fact, not just like when we are going to somewhere for an excursion, we start looking for where is this place, where should we go, where I will get tiger or where I will get other animals. We should inculcate a culture of talking about nature in our daily life. and that will automatically sensitize youngster. We will not need to do much. In fact, these children learn from the recent trends from the society. So that's what I feel we need to do. In fact, we should talk more about nature, importance of nature. We should appreciate nature. I mean, our daily discussions require a space. Yeah.
But in a society or societies around the world that are rapidly urbanizing, some societies are totally urbanized.
Yeah.
Where does one start to bring nature back at the center of family conversations, at the center of social conversation? Where do you start? Because our generation has already kind of lost touch with
Yeah.
Mother Nature. Yeah.
In fact, parents need to initiate this. They should take their children to such places like which are a repository of nature, or uh, in rural areas, and they should tell that these things are important. So parents should be educated first. In fact, they should know the importance of nature, and the discussion should be made interesting by telling few things like why it is important, why this animal is doing that, or why should we protect nature. I'm trying to say we should bring the old culture back, but in a different way in the urban society also. Yeah, you are right. We have lost the touch, but we'll have to bring that in a different way. So this
What
talks.
is the old culture you talk?
Old culture means we were grown up in small towns, in fact, or I can say a village type of environment, where invariably the nature talks get some space. We had basically uh, kind of rural environment, so automatically we'll talk about nature only. But then we were aware of it, and subconsciously we were aware of nature. In fact, it's not that we were taking efforts. So, but in urban environment, it is not possible. But what we can do is that whatever nature we have in urban scenario, this should be appreciated, and it should get attention. And the social media, in fact, should promote nature discussions among common common people or population. Today, the nature talks are basically quite common among naturalists like we are. It is not going beyond us, or if it is going, it is not going in required intensity. It should go among population.
So
somehow we'll have to devise some way. I think the book which we have written is one such approach, in fact, where we have tried to inculcate scientific information. We have made it interesting by putting photographs, and we have given conservation related information. So it's a amalgamation of everything which a common man would like. So this kind of literature, this kind of programs, this kind of posts should go to the cell phone of a common person, not just among naturalists who already know the importance of nature. In fact, yeah.
But as a naturalist who already is aware of the importance of wildlife conservation,
Yeah.
and try to inspire young adults, for example, who might be listening to us today,
Yeah.
how, by telling your own story, how you got to pay more attention to Mother Nature.
See, initially it was just visual beauty which attracted me towards nature. But slowly, the other features of nature, I mean, like observing animals, observing plants, and other things, these came slowly. I mean, this got inculcated slowly uh, while observing nature. And it is only currently it is only a hobby for me. Uh, so my approach to tell nature or to teach nature to others is the same the way I learned from nature. I mean, make things interesting, present in interesting things. This may entice a common man. So if 100 people see, it is possible that 10 may understand the importance of nature. These 10 again can propagate the knowledge and inspiration and conservation kind of uh, uh, information to others. So that is what this is my approach, in fact, to spread conservation or to spread knowledge about nature. Yeah.
When you started to appreciate nature, the beauty of nature by yourself, was it already in the Jim Corbett National Park or elsewhere in the neighborhood you were living?
Yeah, of course. It was not Jim Corbett National Park. Subconsciously, actually, I got enticed during my childhood in a small town. But then the formal introduction with the nature, the theoretical part of that, and the actual meaning of wildlife and the conservation, these kind of things I got only during my graduation, in fact.
So
And there I go. Sorry.
there one emotional moment when you saw a butterfly, or what was that defining moment like when you developed a real love, when you were overcome with love for wildlife? Is there a particular moment, an experience with a creature?
Again, I'll go back to my childhood when,
Yes.
when I was running behind butterflies the, to catch them. Obviously, I got enticed with the, the with the beauty, and me and my few of my friends wanted to catch butterflies. So we had all sorts of densely branched nets, how to capture them, but we could never catch any, in fact. So that is how um, butterflies basically I started liking them. It was all subconscious. It was in my subconscious mind. It's not that these came suddenly. In fact, that's what I am saying. That we must expose to our children to nature. In fact, as much as possible, because things accumulate in the mind, and someday this will come out when the conditions are favorable.
So unfortunately, today millions of children
Yeah.
are born and growing up in concrete jungles,
Yes.
where it is impossible even to see the sky.
In fact, going in a small park
Yeah.
and appreciating natural beauty will help. Going in a national park will help more,
Yeah.
because that is considered more wild, right? So expose we should expose our children as much as possible, as I'm saying, and someday they'll realize the importance of nature. They'll get addicted to nature.
So
And
tell us what happened. Tell us some story or tell us some tiger stories or other wildlife experiences that you may have had once you entered the Jim Corbett National Park. When you first entered.
okay. See, even we went Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve uh, as a tourist some 10, 12 years back. But at that time, our intention was not to write a book. In fact, we went to just we went to see the forest of Himalayan foothills. We wanted to compare the natural ambience between two forests. One in the arid region of India, that is Ranthambore Tiger Reserve, because we worked in that area for a few years. And then we wanted to compare the biodiversity and ambience of forest at foothills of Himalaya, which were well known. So we choose Corbett Tiger Reserve because it is easily approachable. There the tourism is well managed, and I mean overall uh, it is it was well known, in fact. So when we entered the forest, uh, we found it quite different, in fact, from all point of view. It has lots of biodiversity as compared to uh, the forest at arid region because of obvious reasons. Um, it has uh, it has it has something. It has um, surprises at every moment, at every corner. The only thing is that we have to be attentive. We must leave behind all the gadgets of urban culture. For example, mobile, of course. Only then we will be able to appreciate the
Can
beauty
you
of any
describe,
forest.
can you describe
Sorry.
one of the surprises that you came across round the corner?
Uh, Most probably, you and viewers would like to know any surprise which is linked to tigers, in fact, right? So there are not many stories because we were not running behind tigers. We had to basically look for other flora and fauna also. We had to do
Birds, it has such a rich collection of birds that
yes. So we had to spend.
bird-related story.
Sorry, um, uh, related to what? Sorry,
A rare
birds.
bird which you had never seen in your life, or
You are related to a bird which I had never seen in my life. You are trying to say?
no, my question is, tell us about any special experience of yours.
Yeah. This is where I'm arriving.
With the
In fact,
bird, with the tiger, with
yeah. I'm going towards tiger only.
yes.
So I'll quote one instance of sighting tiger, which was an unforgettable moment for us. There is a zone in the northern part which is known as Loha Chor zone. In fact, this Loha Chor zone is not visited by many tourists. So we were not hopeful to find a tiger, and we didn't go to find a tiger. In fact, the landscape of the this zone is such that there are uh, hills, there are narrow valleys, and at the bottom of these valleys are rivers, in fact, streams, with pristine clear water. So we were moving. We were doing a bird watching, in fact, because we had not expected a tiger there. We are doing a bird watching, and while bird watching, we had a call of a deer, barking deer. In fact, initially we thought that there is nothing, and we wanted to ignore it. And let photograph that particular bird. Why to spend time on calls of barking deer? Barking deer is not considered as a reliable indicator of presence of tiger. Sometimes it is, and that is what happened with us. So my co-author, in fact, he was more curious. So he looked on the right-hand side down the valley and a stream. He saw a handsome tiger walking towards the river. It entered the river and the river had crystal clear water. We could see, in fact, the paws of tiger while it is inside the water. It climbed on a big boulder in the center of the river or stream. It was looking at us and probably asking, "What are you doing here?" I don't know whether it was staring us, it was appreciating us, or it was saying, or it was surprised, in fact. So so it stood on that particular rock for almost 2-3 minutes, continuously looking at us, and we were in the safari. So suddenly what happened, that it came down again in the water and climbed towards the road where we were sitting. In fact, our vehicle was there. Again, it stared us. At that time, we were quite fearful, in fact, and realized that the tiger is not feeling very comfortable because of our presence. And then it gently went off. The image of tiger is there on the front page of the book, the discover page. You can see how it is staring. Yeah. How will you take whether it is surprised or it is asking us, "What are you doing here?" Yeah, this is the image. Yes. Yeah. And this was the I would say the gift from Luha Chowd zone, where we never expected a tiger, in fact. Similarly, yeah, please.
Have you already described that?
This story in the book?
No, this indescribable feeling of standing face to face with the Royal Bengal tiger. What is it like? In a sentence or in one word. What is that feeling like?
What I was feeling.
You were looking into the eyes of the Royal Bengal tiger.
I was feeling confused, in fact. What will it do? What is it going to do? What tiger is thinking? I was really confused, in fact.
But it must be a feeling of mixed joy and fear.
For me, yes, it was thrilling. Yes, yeah. It was quite thrilling. It's quite thrilling movement. That there was no other safari vehicle. It was only 3 of us, me, my co-author, and a driver, and that's it. So tiger was also not in hurry, in fact. So it did what it should do. So in fact, the tiger was surprised and we were thrilled, in fact. And we had a combination of fear, thrill, happiness, and everything.
So before I let you go, Professor, tell us a little bit about the name of the Tiger Reserve. Who was Jim Corbett? Why is it called the Corbett Tiger Reserve?
See, earlier when it was established, it was not called as Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve. It was basically Haley National Park. It was not Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve at that time. Then it became, it is not Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve, it is Corbett Tiger Reserve. Many people call it Jim Corbett Tiger Reserve, but the actual name is Corbett Tiger Reserve. That's the second name of Jim Corbett has been taken. Jim Corbett was a person, in fact. And then it was renamed as Corbett Tiger Reserve obviously because to give honor to the hunter turned conservator and philanthropist Jim Corbett, who was living in that area, who was basically who had a good knowledge of that area, in fact. And there are many stories which he has written, and I have found others have written, that how well he knew about those areas. I mean, foothills of Himalayas around Corbett Tiger Reserve.
This is in the early part of the 20th century.
Yes, 20th century. Yes, exactly. That is when he wrote a series of books on man-eaters, in fact, and slotting of these man-eaters. There are three to four books, but Man-Eaters of Kumaon is the one which everybody must read. If those who basically want to know more about tigers and stories of tigers, thrilling stories of tigers, not just tigers. Very well narrated stories. Yeah. So it was named after him, and then since then it has retained the name, and I think it's the name is quite I mean, correct. It is apt, in fact. That.
So thank you so
in between, yeah. Sorry. In between, it was also named as Ramganga National Park. Yeah, but finally it got this name. Yeah.
So thank you, Professor, for taking us on this very wild wildlife journey right to the center of the Corbett National Park. And thank you so much for talking to the citizens.
Thanks for inviting at your portal. Thanks a lot.